Top 5 pitfalls to avoid for cold email outreach. Number 1, not creating the holy trinity of sales assets before outreach: video sales letter, VSL, landing page, case studies, video interviews with past and current clients. Number 2, not spending enough time working on positioning in your offer. Number 3, spending too much time on copy. Number 4, neglecting the importance of iterating and testing. Number 5, relying on templates and scripts. So the most important one, in my opinion, is the first one. And so we're going to start from last to first. So relying on templates and scripts, we made this mistake early on and we failed miserably. We would just kind of tweak scripts we found years ago when we first started. And it's certainly not helpful because each situation is so different. Each industry is different. Each niche is different. Each business is different. Therefore, to just kind of put a square peg into a round hole with other people's information, you don't really have, you can do it, but you don't have the context around why they were doing it at the time. And so it's super important to really, this kind of ties into the next one, neglecting the importance of iterating and testing. It's so important to come up with scripts, copy, angles, etc., and that are relevant to your client, and then test them out. And so this kind of entails the next two: spending too much time on copy and not spending enough time working on positioning on your offer. So that is so important. If you don't do anything from this course and take only one thing, if you just change your offer in terms of why it's important to work with you, it'll make a world of difference. So there are so many ways to do this. Your offer can include a timetable. It can include a risk reversal is huge. It can include a specific, it has to include a specific deliverable, for example. There's so many variables to an offer. So I think Hermazi has the equation where it's perceived likelihood of its dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement over time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice equals value. So again, if you could think about this and just really think about what would be important to offset risk, to show value, to put some type of time stamp on it, etc., and then really start kind of stacking those value layers on would be super helpful. And so talking about copy, it's actually the third most important item in terms of cold outreach. So the first is actually your offer, like we just talked about. The second is your ICP, ICA, ideal client avatar, ideal client profile. The third's copy. So if you have an amazing offer and you have a so-so target market and so-so copy, you're gonna crush it. If you have an amazing offer and you have good target market and your copy's mediocre or not that good, you're gonna crush it. If your offer is trash and your target market is okay and your copy is amazing, you're gonna fail miserably. So just to give you an idea. And then the first one, not creating the holy trinity of sales assets. I see this so many times where people have an ornate website and it's nice. But people get decision fatigue, and I believe there's a changing kind of meta around websites that you really don't need a lot. So if you can use a landing page to then show the proper psychology of the landing page, and especially have a video sales letter, and the two things that the landing page and the video sales letter does is it should be targeted to a niche or a sub niche, ideally. And then so when people see this and you send them this, or they go to it because you're driving traffic with ads or whatever, they're going to think it's one-to-one, that it was written for them, that it's so unique, that this is for me and my company, because you're speaking to one niche or one sub niche, to one audience. And then you can kind of do that throughout the landing page, and especially and cap it off with the video sales letter. And then case studies, so important to have interviews from past clients talking about your successes. In the first, two things are so important with this. In the first 15 seconds, either how much money you made them or how much money you saved them. And if you can't get directly to money, then it's the variables that you help them bolster that indirectly affect how much money you made them or how much money you saved them. So they're the two things to really look out for with case studies, and you can't have enough. And again, and also the case studies that are written, you can have them as well. That should tell a story about how you help someone, not just the numbers. It's really like, and it's also what that does for them, like what it does for their peace of mind, what it does for them being able to sleep at night. Like, how do they feel at home? Like they're a hero to their spouse and their kids. They're looked up to at their, I don't know, golf club or bowling alley or church or synagogue or wherever, or mosque, uh, anywhere. And so it's so important that these kind of emotional factors are tied into these case studies as well, in terms of kind of social status and how they feel. So anyway, very important to have videos, to have the landing page, video sales letter, and case studies. Start out with all three of them before you start reaching out. It's a must to have them to bolster your success. Otherwise, it can be dicey in terms of results.